Hey there, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. And today, you and I will be taking a look at the Heinrich HELICOPRION. Now, before we begin the review, this isn't the first Heinrich watch that I've had on the channel. I've had the Talker 2. I've done a review on this one. This is my personal watch. I reached out to Wolfgang from Wolfgang Heinrich of the brand to send me one of these watches in for review. This is his latest release. It's a few months old. You may have seen other reviews out there from other YouTubers. They've been out for a little while, and he graciously sent one in, and he sent several different models, versions of the model that I will showcase. I haven't met Wolfgang a few months ago over at the Wine Affair in New York City last fall. I've had him on my channel a few years ago when he came out with the Kickstarter for this watch. I somehow found the marketing of it and was sucked in. I loved the design, the 70s influence on the dive watch, and had to have one. Got the Kickstarter, had the watch, gave it to a friend who really liked the watch and missed it. And then when I saw him last year at the fair, he had one of these, the same exact model as I had, the green dial with that faux patina on the hands and indices. And I told him I wanted to buy it, and he said yes. He sold it to me. So I am a fan. I have a watch within the brand catalog. So having said that, this is not a paid review. This is not a promotion. Wolfgang graciously, like I said, sent these watches in and, helping me fulfill some curiosity in this particular model. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind as I do the review. So let's get right into it. We got a 40 millimeter case diameter, a lug to lug of 47.8 millimeters, case thickness of just over 13 millimeters, lug width of 20 millimeters. This is a stainless steel case watch with brushed and polished elements to it, brushed on top of the lugs and on the side. And you do have this nice thick polished edge that goes from lug to lug and really breaks up the brushing of the case. You have this fixed bezel that is vertically brushed, and you have 12 screws going around it for effect. Beads of rice bracelet here, which was an interesting choice, and I think I like it. The clasp is actually very big here, and I reached out to Wolfgang to make sure that this was the actual clasp that was going out with the current models, because my Talker, similar clasp, much smaller, and which would have made more sense here, because even though this is nice and robust, it is pretty big. And he did say that, in fact, the smaller clasp does get shipped out. These watches that I have in here were sent out to YouTubers, so they're not the final product per se, but very comfortable, very robust, I would say. Beads of rice, the articulation is there. It's not as articulate as some other beads of rice watches that you will see, but that's okay because it feels very, very sturdy, and it's still comfortable on wrist. Screw down case back, and as you can see the buzzsaw pattern there with the right in the middle of the Heinrich logo. 200 meter water resistance on the watch. Box sapphire crystal AR coating on both sides. Nice size crown, aggressively knurled, which is common with his watches, as you can see here with the Talker. Much bigger screw crown, but still, nonetheless, this is still very nice and aggressive. It's screw down for the 200 meter water resistance, as I said. Now let's take a look at this dial. This is that buzzsaw pattern. As you can see here, it's radially brushed, and you have the blue and the silver element here with the dark center. Heinrich at the 12 o'clock, and Automatique just above the 6 o'clock. You have a 6 o'clock circle window there. Swiss Super Luminova BGW9 for the Lume, Dauphine hands, and a lollipop there on the second hand. So very, very interesting look. This watch takes some influence from other iconic watches and brands. The Buzzsaw, you'll see that in some of the vintage Universal Genève and other brands have this Buzzsaw pattern. So it's not original to this watch, but it's not something that you see every day for sure. The other versions that he had sent me here are a blue one with a more subtle buzzsaw, as you can see. We have a brown version of it with a more subtle buzzsaw, and then the green version here, which is just as good. In the pictures in this website, I thought this one would be the one that catches my eye the most, and it is a great looking dial. But I think I prefer the more subtle look with the blue. What do you guys think? Put a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Anyway, these are powered. He gives you two choices here with the movements. You have the Sellita SW200-1 Elaboré, and it is regulated in 4 different positions. Or you can get the Miyota 9015 Premium Movement. I think I would go with the Miyota. The cost savings is a little bit here. Currently on the website, $709 with the Miyota, $857 with the Sellita. If you have other watches in your collection that have the Sellita, go for the Miyota here. And this, I would think, and vice versa. If you have some watches that have the Miyota movement, go with the Sellita. I know the Sellita, will have better time tolerances, but I think the Miyota is a great movement, that 9015, and it's a workhorse movement as well. Let's put this on wrist. Now I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and the watch just fits. It fits great. I mean, these dimensions are great. This is a great little everyday sports type piece. The beads of rice bracelet. Love how it shimmers in the polished beads shimmer when the light hits it, and just a great looking watch. And again, fits very, very well. The clasp is going to be smaller, as I said, and I like the choices that Wolfgang had made here, going with this style of watch juxtaposed to the dive watch here. If you're really into microbrands, if you're really into this brand in particular, you can start building a little collection here where you got your diver, you got your everyday watch. He also has a different talker dive watch that looks much different, and a GMT version of it. So he's building a brand here, and maybe he goes dress watch next, maybe chrono. That'd be interesting, right? I mean, what's left for sure. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this watch. Please put a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.